What people don't understand, and I realize this, only a few people might remember me talking about it when I was experiencing what is going on with the English alphabet, how that our iPhones and all of the activity of SM, which a lot of it is English, if you notice, it's mandatory, like that's the second language for everybody, and not even the English are encouraged to learn anything else. I mean, of course, it's known that it's amazing to learn another language, but it's not the mouth noising. I mean, of course, they have their own spelling and symbols, and it's interesting. I'm just isolating. Okay, yeah, so there's all of that, but what is this? What is this? What is the English alphabet that is infiltrating all races and says you must do this, and what else? What do we associate it? Well, we associate it with the white race. I'll say that much, But what I'm trying to point at and I'm trying to clarify to people. Okay, if I do what I see, I crack the code on my iPhone. There is such a thing through. Now I will say it's through decoding. Now deciphering the English spelling. So to try and make a long story short, I was shown through astral travel and also this experience that would this is the hardest thing to explain to people. And I'm still learning. A lot of things I can see how, no, that's the harebrained. That's not it. That's it. But there's a key. You fit these keys, and other people can see it. Now you have to be pretty damn intelligent, because they were trying to show me. When I say they, babes, in another dimension, there is a gathering. I can't explain this very clearly, except for something is going on interdimensionally. So, and I associate it with intergalactically. I say outer space, benevolent beings. So without sounding too crazy, trying to convey how, okay, so I cracked the code on my iPhone. I also screwed up something. I'm an Aries rising, so I kind of tattletailed on myself. I saw something going on. They were letting me know. So it started, so I was astral traveling. See, God, this is a story, man, because that fucking iPhone, I was throwing it into the other room, right? Because that thing has EMF waves going in and out of you and shit, and it can give you insomnia and all kinds of trouble. So I was doing this really trippy regiment of doing yoga every single day, and then fasting was coming on. It was before. This was years ago, about 3 years ago. 2021, 20 or 21, or was it 20? March of 2021 is what it was. After that third eye experience and the astral travel, I have lost all track of time, and there's something going on with that. You need to ignore it. I mean, time doesn't exist. There's a lot of things you got to ignore here. And that's what I call entrance, like you entrance yourself. And this is something I'm going to begin talking about, like, oh, not for 3 or 4 weeks. Will we? Yes, it's not going to be a coincidence that it's going to be piping up. It's like, okay, there it is. Finally, all right, we can talk about our superhuman capabilities. If anything, when you talk about superhuman, we're talking about like maybe our ability to heal each other or ourselves. So anyway, getting back to trying to tell you, God, it just dawned on me. It's like, I still haven't. I mean, maybe some people were paying attention. How, you see, after I cracked the code in my iPhone, I proved to people the feats that I can do. I said, they know that this is a lie. The lowercase based wasteland is what I call it. Is a lie. That's not the right spectrum that we are supposed to be looking at. And, okay, so I need to calm down because this is going to refine. It is working on me still. It's like, oh my God, so this is when it's totally meant to be used. And it is, I just can hardly explain, because it's an interfacing system sent down by benevolent beings who live in outer space, who they are beyond this time-space realm. They know the concoction of creation here. And you see, we can too. We are actually here to maintain it. This is getting very controversial. I know. I see. I'm learning it. They let me know who I was to them, and we all kind of suspect that. And then so, as far as like, oh yes, we have family up in outer space. Okay. Getting back to who knows where it is, by the way, and see, the upper spectrum math points at, well, to just say it blatantly, God. Like how I just recently come up, and I think other people are coming up with it too. It's like, well, how his brain works to manifest you there as his memory or something like that kind of thing. But no, very delicate subject matter. It's the science that we are. You know how they say you are one with the universe? And then how that all renders out, like, what do you mean? How it all really, what's really going on? You hear science and philosophers like trippy people like shamans and like David Icke and other Nassim Haram, is that how you say his name? Talking about the nature of reality. They point at it, and it's just all ever confirming, but then there's this math that keeps your perception just in the simplicity of how it works, because otherwise, when we're talking about, like, say, the spelling, see, the upper spectrum, when you begin to understand, I mean, you got to be really fucking smart. See, I am not a rocket scientist, so I think I fell off, and whoever was letting me know about this may have been a little disappointed, because I just got, I had like 3 significant astral travel. No, way more than that. Way more. I mean, we were astral traveling every night, but what I'm talking about is like this experience with these beings as I was raised up on a blanket of energy, and the music was going, and they love me because I play music, and they're like, guess what, and they love me, but there's all kinds of people that are loving each other, everybody loves us, so I don't want to sound like but they shite people, chosen people that are just these nervous wrecks. Actually, they're just like, what's happening? I'm left completely dangling, you know what I mean, without family or any kind of attachment like that. So it's like, um, I'm doing pretty good with my roots, to tell you the God honest truth. That's very illusory. People know God, this story, fucking A. I wanted to just tell you people how. Okay, so I cracked the code on the iPhone. Then I put myself in jail with that because I did the strangest thing. I remember that. It was wild. It was so wild. Proving to some people, just a few, I don't know if they can remember, that I had just, see, and I'm wondering, can you do that with your iPhone? Will you fall into that train? Will you just let them know that you see a lie after lie after lie after lie? And in fact, you could say anything here and it's a lie. Not only is that a clarification of that, you understand the difference between, say, just talking and mind versus reality, the reality of reality, the truth there, what goes on and what is happening with us, really. You get the impression that it's like, wait a minute, when your third eye starts to open and some of the symptoms will come in, it's like, wait a minute, you think you really know history? How long do you think you can think back? And why do you think that just because you're told something that that's the truth, man? This is really fucking really fascinating. Because you just have to use, well, you don't even have to have a third eye open. Just fucking think about it. When you start contemplating these things, see, that's what will happen. See, that's what I was in the middle of. I'm always thinking and contemplating to the point of shattering my mind and reconstruction and really getting the essence of it. And, that's just who I am. So with the decoding and the writing, I was doing this and people were tripping out, and you will trip out. No, what I'm onto is very real. I'm still learning, and the thing is, oh my God, my story is very real. It's an experience, and now it blows my mind because it's not going to leave. It's going to refine itself and say, no, you can get this, even though I'm not a rocket scientist. And when it got into the abbreviation part and the upper spectrums, this is very real. My mom would be really good at deciphering and seeing this timeless spectrum. Timeless. I was going to say language, but we usually associate language with mouth noising. I'm talking about the spelling, which is really math. It's symbology. Really, what I'm talking about now is symbology that we have lost. I'm calling it letters. And boy, what we start to peel at is that language part where people are slurring things together. It's like, if you just realize that you don't know what you're, listen to what is being said, like put together. It's horrific. It's like, that was a spell. See, the upper spectrum math. Now, when you take your right to remain silent, you start using the decoding, deciphering, and you start dispelling. And some people are starting to catch on to this. God, I almost flashed at the word, like, what, smoke and mirrors, I guess, with, well, issuing you your black and white certificate, that's your name, in capital letters, and you are now just being, and it's like, wait a minute. See, I don't want to get in beyond any place where I don't know. I know the possibility is there that we could probably shut down the whole system if we knew our real, like, math and this dispelling process that says, actually, this is quite simply what we are handling here in reality. Like, say, to remain silent is to remain reality. When they say you have a right to remain silent, what they're really saying is you have a right to remain reality. And then when you start to do documents and stuff, see, that's when they start handing things to you and stuff like that. You just don't sign things. If you're being pressured to sign it, say squiggle unsigned. There you are, unsigned, unsigned, unsigned. They won't even look at it like, thank God she squiggled her name. No, that's just unsigned. I just don't know. Can't let me decipher this horse shit. Let me work up my argument. Don't I have something going for me? Yes, the very simplicity of what you're really connected to, which includes all these spectrums. And really, there's that one upper spectrum that dispels and says, oh, by the way, this is a forever thing here. When you see the O, that's not me making that up, babes. That's a symbol that is forever a recycling. You can say, well, here comes Easter. Happy Easter, that egg, the O. But really, the oscillation, the plasmatic field. So you have to be kind of a rocket scientist of some sort, and a little scientist of some sort, little puzzle doer, somebody who's curious. You have to be somebody who isn't afraid of understanding something deeper. Ah, man, I didn't get to explaining. Okay, so where I'm at now with the dark net, there's the dark net, and my phone still exhibits all kinds of signs that it says that is letting you know this is what they mean, this is what it is. See, God, it's so hard to explain this. But I had this experience, and it's not at all crazy to be associating it back with, like, okay, so wait a minute, this fucking thing. I was doing this birds and the words things, and a lot of people just love it. They're like, because their brains are able to like say, wait a minute, that was a trip. That was interesting. That was interesting. So that was happening, and then see, at the same time I was doing, I'm going to try to wrap this, 17 minutes, and you guys are completely gone. Don't even know what I'm saying. Just kidding. There isn't anything more interesting than this. There's other cures to humanity's perception problem, but this is number one, and I was chosen. I'm the only one in the West. There is a tribe in Africa who holds the frequency and is this, I would say, I would dare say, it's the reason why everything's still green on the planet. Really, you are the reason why everything's still green on the planet. If you are resonating with this upper spectrum math, the higher vibrational frequency. That's all. That's all. It's love, God. And this simple thing, you can see it's still working on me. It won't work just anywhere, but when you it will flash. You can see it's pure prophecy. The way that it works, guys, is it's timeless. It will point at that fact that our existential reality really is timeless. There isn't any time. There isn't really any time. And also, there isn't like we're not pressing on to become advanced into. If that's happening, it's already happening. It's already happening. And what's also happening, it will let you know. It's pretty troubling. Some minds are probably not ready to see it, and that's how that I know that I was chosen. I said, you know what, you're going to be able to handle this because, pardon me, as well as understanding there's an upper spectrum, very simple, that points at how the entire universe is rendering through. YOU. You're going to see the lower spectrum, how it's maintaining, even moving backwards, people's perception, and how even every book, in fact, is a lie. I have videos that I haven't even downloaded on my PC. I can't do it right now because my cloud situation is weird. But I would put it on my YouTube and just put it private, because it's during the moments when I'm having these experiences in between. In between, I'm authentically going, you know what? I want to burn every book. A lot of people who live in their minds and think that the world came out of a word doesn't like that idea. And it's like, no, you don't understand. It's burnt anyway. They know that. Who are they? Ah, man, we are consenting to horse shit down here, and they helplessly watch. As far as would you want your benevolent being to save you? No, they give us like this here. What I found is like, they have hidden something. They take the nourishment out of things and then hand it to you. That's what I noticed. Is like, oh, so you took the one side of the symbols that we look at away. You just say use one capital at the top. That doesn't make sense. If you knew what capitalizing would do for us, do you know? And listen to the language. This is very real. Excuse me, but we don't just have one capital at the top and then the rest just drop. No, things start from the ground and grows up. That's the way we know. That's the laws of physics. So that's exactly too what we're maintaining in this simple math. Like, sheep. People don't like to be called sheep, but your biological mass, that's all you are, is biology that they keep track of here. It's just like, you are a biological glitch here. You're just biology, right? So as a you, really, EWE, you, sheep. The word sheep has she and he in it. Not an accident there, babes. That's how the interfacing system will work. It says, timeless here. You're not going to get out of seeing the holy truth if you're here. And they call, see, I learned so much. I realize it's like, okay, a lot of people won't know this, but you know what? I hear it coming in, and it's being lost too. But some people are really simple. They're like, no, there's a first, second, third dimension. Some of them, they don't really connect it, but it's like, no, they're talking about it. They're talking about it. And that's what breaking the decoding system and the rules and everything will begin to let you see. The first dimensional babble, the second dimensional, what I call birds in the words. It kind of, the first dimension is really just, it's the mind. It's what we hallucinate that we're saying, that we needed to even say it or something like it. It's just the strangest thing. It's all the lowercase cramming of things to where we don't even see the she and the he in the sheep. So some of the things that I was downloaded with about it is plainly, I'm realizing that it's intergalactic, like I'm a general, and it's something that only I am to understand, like this dimensions things. But no, it's important to know simply what that is. The middle dimension. The meadows is what they call this. The middle dimension is where your body is. It's where biomass is operating. The first dimension is your mind, that is pretty much non-existential, but it's there. I mean, we've got meta coming up, and you can imagine, and fall on the floor. And are you ever going to enter into the second dimension, into your body? That's where we're having trouble with who are walking around like this with helmets on, but the narcissist. narcissistic society out there who is hallucinating how life should be based on what? Babble. Really? Just this book? 10 Commandments. Really? No, that's just the way it is when you get enlightened. You don't get out of here. You know, blab it in people's faces. You're celebrating it, aren't you, or not? And anyway, let's get back to the third dimension. The third dimension, Babel, is the upper spectrum math. It's just no. This is It's like time's out on the physical realm, time's out on your fucking hallucinating. What that's all about. And let's look at how it's all rendering out really. And what's the truth? The circle, how everything is going, recycling, and then what else? So you're gonna hold this information, aren't you? And then now, how do we get it into the, this very scientific shit? To what? In case we want to know how creation is rendering out, it could be metaphorical or it could be literal. Maybe it's a fractal. I don't know. Thanks for listening to all this. This was kind of hard to do because it's still kind of raw in me. Having experienced what is holding itself together through this lower base wasteland stuff, I'm not sure if we're ever going to pull out of it. I mean, how are we going to get back to the garden when oh my God, the advertisements that are just ratcheting up, and the way that they speak, and then the political parties, the way that they speak, and how that is supposed to be something. That is supposed to be something when it's nothing, and it's just like, but the mind and they are maintaining this like wall, right, of belief, and enough. There's enough. Like, okay, so but really, it's what I was about to say is it's okay to it's paramount to maintain ourselves through communications, and we do that with documents and stuff, right? Agreements and documents. That if you really look, some of these things, like the Constitution, by the way, that's not the people's Constitution, that's their Constitution. Who are they? The same ones that fuck with everything. To keep you as a slave, basically. Thinking that you're free. Once they're issuing you a constitution, they're writing it out for us. We have the right to bear arms, blah, blah, blah. Are you going to get yourself the special material that it takes that this won't ever burn? People? You animals, actually, we call ourselves people. Goodbye! You can prove that because of the way the language is there. It's like, wait a minute, when did somebody sign it? Who signed it? Them. And then so make a document of your own. There are already, that's what I'm trying to point out. That's what I'm saying. This is what the English interfacing system really, really is. It's so amazing. Why? It goes beyond your capacity to understand what is going on. Say if there is an intergalactically space being, blah, blah, blah. This is interdimensional. This is really touching on the creation of creation, right? Everybody's, fantasizing about that. And at first there was the word. It's like, no, there wasn't. There's math, honeys. Math. Geo, me try. It gets that ridiculous too. I mean, geometry. Why don't you just say geometry? Can I take part in this plasmatic field where anything's possible through my able to grip onto the truth, which is my intellectual property, that I can kabloop to blop on a and look how they talk about, well, hey, AI is there. AI is like mentioned all the time. You can talk about, it's just very timeless language that you don't understand. It's like, now it's pointing at, and then sometimes it'll get so hilarious. This is where I know. See, I met freaking Dr. Seuss, and he's disgruntled. By the way, there's a lot of disgruntled. It's getting heavy. It's in the red zone, babes. It's in the red zone. You don't know what's going on intergalactically. I hope you understand. I hope you enjoyed this Shauna's sci-fi. So anyway, Dr. Seuss is pulling off of this, middle dimension strangeness. He's looking at it, it's like, why is the hat show up a lot? He's about the cat in the hat thing. And then the way that he plays with words down across the board. There is some kind of mentality that's coming out of it. It's really hard to explain, and I don't know how forever long I'm going to be learning this. But there is other presences on this planet who knows darn well about this. It's if you're a lot of women catch on to it really quick. Why? That's what is missing, and then that's what it will point at. Also, you'll see when you see her written down, he is not there. He is there. See, that's what the R says. It says reverse. It says make sure that flow is safe. When we say make sure the flow is safe, it's this is when you're doing documents. When somebody's trying to steal your orange grove or something, your water, whatever, you say, excuse me, and then wrap it up and throw it and fucking never sign anything and tell a joke, make it rhyme, and then sing a song. We knew you would understand. Stop violating us. Sheep. So I imagine it would be the shepherds that stand up and know how to say things. But no, sheep can do this. They can just be like, actually, that's not really there. We know how to see around it. The illusion of mind. And what you had said, bullshit. Don't even know it. Listen to that. What's going on out there? Have you ever just tuned out and then refocused? These people babbling has nothing to do with now. Why is it so important to you? Fucking, oh my God, do you realize we're in prison? And you're imagining a life that's happening? Oh, like progress is going on. Anyway, I was trying to tell you about that. That you can't handle the truth unless you look at that other part, the higher you go. I mean, you have to be willing to see the absolute, like you can't believe what's really going on. It will see. It took me a long time to get up out of that funk of, and I will never really. It's like I know what's going on. Excuse me. Sometimes I'll just say, "Fuckers." Why? Pay attention. Pay attention. Somebody, see, if one person gets this and can refine it, really, that's enough for me, man. But no, I'm gonna refine it. I am going to. It's gonna happen for me. I already got a notion. Okay, so what is the result of all of this? What will it be? Well, people need to simplify away from mind, right? They need to simplify and dispel the mind. And this also is something, if anything, at the very least, it could be that. And you can be uplifted. You can be just like, oh, I understand. How simple. Let's go get the buckets and the tools, and then get out there and be musical, be harmonious. That's what the upper spectrums. I could see I need to do a lot of. I was responding to this woman who sees it. She's like, well, can you give me more information on this. It's very interesting. I don't know anything about it, but it's like, well, I'm sorry. This is the pineal gland group. I'm like, babe, I see my experiences is that I have a teacher who's in physical realm here. And after I had my astral travel experience, I went back to him with a lot of these rules and the R rule and how and what's really and I lost him completely. And so I just saw a spider run that way. I'm not one who just ignores these experiences. There's something going on. I usually am doing a lot of industrial something to where something begins to shimmer, and it's greatness. It's greatness. It's something that we can use, or just get a shish kebab and then heat it up and turn me about and put a little bit of olive oil on there and eat me up.